The male lead of the drama, Jun, is having his first day at college. Jun has everything in life, yet he feels an emptiness. On the other hand, there is Soo-hyun, whose life is completely different from Jun's. Soo-hyun does part-time jobs to make a living, and the female lead of the drama, So-bin, is extremely studious, but she never gets good grades. In the college class, Soo-hyun is sleeping on the bench in front of Jun, so Jun wakes him up to prevent him from getting scolded by the teacher. Just then, by mistake, Jun spills coffee on Soo-hyun's shoes. Jun starts apologizing to Soo-hyun, but Soo-hyun stops him and focuses on attendance. After class, Jun apologizes to Soo-hyun again. Seeing Jun's expensive watch, Soo-hyun asks Jun for dollars to clean his shoes. When Jun is about to give him the money, Soo-hyun says, "You're really an ATM machine. It was both of our mistakes, so there's no need to pay." Then Soo-hyun leaves from there. In the next scene, on her first day of college, So-bin prays to God, "May my roommate be a good girl." As soon as she opens her eyes after the prayer, a classmate is standing in front of her. The classmate tells her, "I am a second-year design student," and then asks So-bin to carry her suitcase as well. In the next scene, Jun goes to buy juice for his friends and sees Soo-hyun working part-time at the store. Jun tries to talk to Soo-hyun, but Soo-hyun tells Jun, "You should leave now, because the people outside are waiting for your credit card." Hearing this, Jun smiles and leaves. The next day at college, when So-bin opens the staff room door, she slips and falls on Jun, but Jun catches her. So-bin apologizes to Jun. In the next scene, all the junior students are about to go on an overnight trip. At the assistant teacher's suggestion, So-bin becomes the leader of the juniors. Soo-hyun was also going on that trip as a leader. On the trip, So-bin keeps looking at Jun the whole time because of her part-time job. Jun also notices So-bin. In the evening, a student faints due to excessive drinking. So So-bin comes to help Soo-hyun and says, "You can leave this junior in my care." Soo-hyun doesn't listen to So-bin and takes the student to the room. Jun is also there and asks, "So-bin, why do you always look at me? Do you have a crush on me?" Hearing this, So-bin makes an excuse. "Someone is calling you," and leaves from there. In the next scene, when So-bin sees Soo-hyun cleaning, she tells him, "In the morning, everyone will clean together." But Soo-hyun doesn't agree. So-bin asks Soo-hyun, "Can I ask you a question?" Soo-hyun replies, "Why do you ask so many questions?" So-bin says, "Because I have a habit of overthinking. I think so much about things that it feels like my head is about to explode." Soo-hyun says, "Then you should ask your questions before your head explodes." So-bin says, "Do you remember last year I emailed you, but you didn't reply to even one?" Soo-hyun says, "I never received any emails." In the next scene, Jun gets into a fight with his senior. Just then, So-bin arrives and pushes the senior away. The senior tries to hit So-bin, but Soo-hyun intervenes and saves her, asking So-bin to take Jun away. So-bin treats Jun's wounds and asks him, "Can you quit your part-time position? I want to work as a researcher with the teacher." Jun says, "I'll leave the position, but you have to become my good and true friend." So-bin says, "I will try my best." Meanwhile, Soo-hyun finds So-bin's emails in his spam folder. The next day, Soo-hyun tells So-bin they were in his email spam folder. "Sorry, I couldn't help you with your studies last year," and leaves. Then Jun approaches So-bin and says, "You have to go bungee jumping with me." So-bin says, "I'm afraid of heights." Jun says, "If you keep being afraid like this, you will never overcome your fear." So-bin starts making excuses again. So Jun says, "If you don't go bungee jumping with me, you won't become my good friend, and you won't get the part-time job." And Jun leaves. Then, in the next scene, So-bin goes jumping with Jun. Jun tells So-bin, "Jump." So-bin refuses, so Jun picks So-bin up and jumps. Soo-hyun is also watching them from a distance. In the next scene, after returning from the trip, Jun thanks Soo-hyun, "Because if you weren't there, I would have been beaten up." Soo-hyun says, "I didn't do you any favor," and starts to leave. Then Jun says to Soo-hyun, "You helped me for So-bin that day, right?" Soo-hyun stops. Jun says to Soo-hyun, "I was talking nicely to you because I felt pity for you, but you are not worthy. You are so arrogant." Soo-hyun says, "Good, you took off your mask quickly." Then So-bin arrives. Jun says to Soo-hyun, "How did you like my joke?" Soo-hyun leaves. So-bin gets angry at Jun and says to Jun, "Do you want to give me the researcher job or not?" Jun explains to So-bin, "Trust me, I won't make you angry." So-bin doesn't believe him. So Jun takes her to the office and tells the assistant, "I don't want the researcher job." So-bin feels relieved after hearing this. In the next scene, So-bin's new roommate, Mi-ju, arrives. She is a good friend of So-bin, but Mi-ju doesn't get along well with Young. At college, So-bin goes to the professor for a part-time job. The professor tells So-bin, "If your work is not good, I will replace you." So-bin says, "I won't give you a chance to complain." In the next scene, Jun's seniors forcefully enter his room and take advantage of the comforts of the house, but Jun doesn't like it. The next day at college, Jun says to So-bin, "I I kept my promise. When will you keep your promise? So Bin says, we are good friends, so what do you want? June asks, you are my good friend, so tell me what you know about me. So Bin says, you are very popular and behave differently from everyone else. After listening to So Bin, June starts flirting with So Bin, and then both go to class. June sits with Soo Hyun, so Soo Hyun gets up and sits elsewhere. The class teacher puts June and his senior friends in Soo Hyun's group. After class, Soo Hyun asks So Bin, can you join our team? Because I need someone in my team whom I can trust. So Bin starts thinking about it. Then June comes and persuades So Bin to join the team. During the presentation meeting, everyone votes for So Bin to become the group leader. So Bin was not happy with this, but then she agrees. In the next scene, June receives a call from his mom, and from their conversation it is revealed that June's parents always compare him to his older brother. June keeps trying to please his parents, but his parents are never satisfied with him. On the other hand, Soo Hyun is worried about his increasing expenses because Soo Hyun had to take responsibility for his mother and younger brother. The next day, at the presentation meeting, only June, So Bin, and Soo Hyun are present. Soo Hyun is angry that June's friends aren't participating in the group discussion. So Bin says, I'm the team leader, so I'll handle their part of the work too. Soo Hyun doesn't like this and starts to leave. June taunts him to stop him, which makes Soo Hyun even angrier, and he tells So Bin, don't include me in this group, and leaves. So Bin asks June, what should we do now? June says, don't worry, I'll bring Soo Hyun back to the group. Then both go after Soo Hyun, and outside, June's seniors are harassing Soo Hyun. June stops his seniors, but a senior pushes June, which reminds June of his childhood. June's senior raises his hand at Soo Hyun, so June shouts at the seniors, if you have a problem with Soo Hyun, don't hit him. Talk to him calmly. June gets scared by this incident, so everyone starts looking at June in surprise. In the next scene, So Bin applies medicine to Soo Hyun, and after applying the medicine, So Bin convinces Soo Hyun to rejoin the group. On the other hand, June's older brother comes to pick him up. June's mom and dad have arranged a small get-together. June puts on hair extensions so that there is no embarrassment because of his hairstyle. June's aunt says June didn't get admission to CEO University, so June's dad feels embarrassed. After the get-together, June's dad raises his hand at June because June mentioned his college in front of his relatives. June's mom says, I wish I hadn't given birth to you. Then, as June is leaving, his mom tells him, don't let anyone know that your dad hit you. June says, okay, and leaves. On the way back, there is some argument between the two brothers. June's brother says, you have no place in our family, and mom and dad won't care whether you're there or not. June is hurt by his brother's harsh words, so he gets off midway and goes to a salon to get his hair dyed according to his mom's preference. But on his way to the salon, June calls his friends and goes to drink with them. After drinking, June calls Soo Hyun to drink with him. Soo Hyun refuses, so June says, if you don't come, I'll kill myself. Soo Hyun is surprised to hear June say such things and calls So Bin to go and help June. So Bin searches for June and finds him. Seeing So Bin, June cries and says to So Bin, can you like me? So Bin says, I like someone else. Hearing this, June faints, and then Soo Hyun arrives and carries June on his back to his house. On the way, June vomits on Soo Hyun's jacket. Soo Hyun drops him home and after cleaning his jacket, goes to drop So Bin at her hostel. Soo Hyun tells So Bin, don't tell June that I dropped him home. The next morning, when June wakes up, he doesn't understand how he got home, but he remembers that he was with So Bin. As soon as June goes to college, he asks So Bin, did I do anything wrong last night? So Bin is about to tell him about the vomiting incident, but she hurriedly cuts the call. June checks his phone's call log, sees Soo Hyun's name, is surprised, and then starts running towards his college. At college, June tries to apologize to Soo Hyun, but Soo Hyun, hearing June's voice, starts running away and disappears, evading June. At lunchtime, June asks So Bin who took him home yesterday. So Bin doesn't say anything. June understands from her expression that it was Soo Hyun. June asks So Bin, do you like someone? So Bin doesn't reveal the name of the person she likes and tells June, I like someone who is always with me. Then both go to see the sunset, and So Bin tells June about the person she likes without naming him. June tells So Bin, make me your guru. I will be your love guru. So Bin agrees and makes him her love guru. Soo Hyun looks for a house for his brother where he can study comfortably, but the rent is very high, so Soo Hyun starts looking for part-time jobs. In the next scene, So Bin and June go shopping and buy a dress. Then June notices that So Bin always wears a bracelet, perhaps given by her best friend. On the way back, June asks, So Bin, why can't you like me? So Bin says, don't joke. So many girls already like you, and I don't want to stand in that line. Saying this, So Bin goes to the hostel. June goes home and thinks about So Bin. Then June meets So Bin's best friend and learns that his girlfriend is coming to meet him tomorrow. June messages, So Bin, you should confess to your friend. In the next scene, after the presentation meeting, June goes to thank Soo Hyun for his help. So Soo-hyun asks June, "How do you know? Did So-bin tell you?" June says, "You left your DNA sample in my washroom, and because of that bowl, I found out that it was you who helped me." Soo-hyun tells June, "You are wasting your time behind me." Saying this, Soo-hyun leaves. In the next scene, So-bin buys some candles to decorate her friend's house, which June doesn't like, and he stares at So-bin's bracelet. So-bin tells June, "When I was 8 years old, my best friend gave me this bracelet." So-bin decorates her friend's house, and there's a doorbell. When So-bin opens the door, she sees a girl and gets scared and starts to leave. On the way, So-bin meets her best friend Chan-ki and asks, "So-bin, did you come to meet me?" So-bin says, "I came to meet June." In a flashback, So-bin's parents get divorced and So-bin is sad. At that time, her best friend gives her the bracelet. In the present, So-bin is crying. So June tells So-bin, "You should use me to burn your best friend, or you can also use me to forget your best friend." So-bin says, "Why are you helping me so much?" June says, "Because I can't see you in this condition." So-bin agrees, and as soon as June hears So-bin's yes, he breaks the bracelet given by So-bin's best friend from her hand. On the other hand, Chan-ki was peeking into June's house to see So-bin. Then June and So-bin arrive, and June tells Chan-ki, "This is my girlfriend." Hearing this, Chan-ki's face falls. In the next scene, June goes to drop So-bin at the hostel. So-bin receives a call from Chan-ki. So June takes the phone from So-bin and cuts the call. So-bin asks June, "Why did you do that?" June says, "From now on, I'm your boyfriend. So I deserve this, right? When we value people too much, they use us." So-bin understands and goes to the hostel. In the next scene, Soo-hyun's classmate tells him about a part-time job. So Soo-hyun gets selected after giving an interview there. Then Soo-hyun learns that Young got him this job, so Soo-hyun refuses to take the job. That evening, Young asks Soo-hyun, "Why did you do that?" Soo-hyun says, "You took a favor from that guy for me, and I don't want my friend to be indebted to anyone." The next day, Soo-hyun's younger brother, Gu-hyun, comes to Soo-hyun's college. He is so engrossed in looking at Mi-ju that he falls down after bumping his foot. To avoid Mi-ju noticing, Gu-hyun starts doing push-ups. On the other hand, Soo-hyun and June are wearing matching clothes. June tells Soo-hyun this, so Soo-hyun takes off his jacket. June says, "We both have the same pants too, so take that off too." Soo-hyun starts to leave, so June follows him. Soo-hyun tells June, "You're wasting your time behind me." June says, "If you want to get rid of me, you have to feed me today." Then Soo-hyun hears girls screaming. Soo-hyun turns to look, and his brother is doing push-ups. And when Gu-hyun starts to take off his shirt to impress the girls, Soo-hyun comes and stops his brother and drags him away. Soo-hyun brings food for June along with his brother. While having lunch, Soo-hyun's care for his brother makes June feel a little jealous because he has no one to feed him lovingly. Soo-hyun gets up from the table and leaves. Then Soo-hyun's brother notices June's watch, and when he asks June about it, June gives him the watch. Before leaving home, June asks Soo-hyun, "Can I call you?" Soo-hyun refuses. At the presentation meeting, the seniors don't work, so all the work falls on Soo-hyun and So-bin. June tells Soo-hyun, "I will help you." Soo-hyun says, "You are a junior. You can't do this work." June says, "You should trust me once." Soo-hyun trusts June and gives him the work. In the next scene, while Soo-hyun is working, the three seniors come to the store and start bullying Soo-hyun. Then, Young arrives and teaches the three a lesson. Then Soo-hyun finds many dollars from Gu-hyun at home, so Soo-hyun asks him, "Where did you get so much money?" Gu-hyun says, "I sold something that I got for free." Soo-hyun scolds Gu-hyun and asks, "Tell the truth. Where did you get that thing?" Gu-hyun tells everything, so Soo-hyun scolds him. Then Soo-hyun goes to meet June and says, outside his house, "I will return the debt you gave me soon." June tells Soo-hyun, "You know very well. Money doesn't matter to me. I can buy the same watch again whenever I want." Soo-hyun says, "Then what can I do to repay your debt?" June says, "Pick up the phone when I call and treat me like your younger brother." In the next scene, Chan-ki meets So-bin and tells So-bin, "June did all this intentionally because he knew my girlfriend was coming home that day." So-bin says, "I know, June cannot lie," and then leaves. While going home, So-bin thinks, did June really do all this intentionally? To clear her doubt, she asks to meet June. Later, So-bin meets June and directly asks him, "Did you know that Chan-ki's girlfriend was coming that day?" June says, "Yes, I knew, and I can't see you running after him like a crazy person." So-bin feels that June has cheated her and breaks off their friendship. June calls Soo-hyun and says, "I hurt someone's feelings. I want everything between us to be like before." Soo-hyun says, "Go to the person whose feelings you hurt and tell the truth about why you did it." Then June goes to So-bin and tells her, "I did that because I wanted to make a place in your heart, and I couldn't see you running after someone else. Then June apologizes to So-bin. So-bin forgives June, and June leaves. Soo-hyun faints at the construction site and is admitted to the hospital. June calls Soo-hyun, and the nurse reveals that Soo-hyun is in the hospital. June quickly goes to the hospital. When Soo-hyun regains consciousness, June is there. Soo-hyun asks June, "How did you come to the hospital?" Then June explains everything. Soo-hyun says, "You are my girlfriend who keeps calling me." June says, "I wanted to thank you, your advice worked." Then Soo-hyun scolds June and tells him to leave the hospital. In the next scene, So-bin thinks, "June likes me, so what should I reply?" The next morning, June goes to the hospital with food for Soo-hyun, but learns that Soo-hyun has been discharged. Soo-hyun goes to his construction part-time job, and they fire him because we don't want to hire students. Soo-hyun receives a call from his mom, so Soo-hyun tells his mom, "I will take full responsibility for Goo-hyun's studies. You don't need to worry." On the other hand, June messages his older brother for information about his dad's company for his project. The next day, June goes to collect company data, and his brother tells June, "In return for this help, you won't come to the next get-together." June gets angry and tells his brother, "I've had a DNA test done. You are my brother." In the next scene, June meets So-bin. So-bin tells June, "I want to answer your question." June puts his hand on his heart and says, "So-bin, wait, let me breathe." So-bin tells June, "I'm happy to know your feelings, but I don't know you completely." June says, "Do you want to know about me?" So-bin nods her head and says, "Little by little." June is happy to hear this. So-bin says, "That's why I want to know, because I'm very curious, not because I like you." June says, "Okay, I'll tell you one thing about myself every day." After class, June meets Soo-hyun and says, "Why aren't you answering my calls?" Then June gives Soo-hyun the project file. Soo-hyun takes the information from June and gives him dollars. June asks Soo-hyun, "Where did you get so much money? Didn't you sell your kidney?" Soo-hyun says, "I've returned the money you gave me for my hospital bill. I don't owe you anything anymore." June says, "You are forgetting one thing." Soo-hyun takes out his diary and tells June, "I will return the money for your watch very soon." June says, "How will you return the emotions I invested in you?" Soo-hyun leaves without saying anything. June shouts, "You can't get rid of me so easily." In the next scene, So-bin comes to college, and all the girls are looking at So-bin because everyone thinks that So-bin and June are dating. A girl comes to So-bin and says, "How can June's choice be so bad?" And while leaving says, "Let's see how far your relationship goes." So-bin feels very bad after hearing this and calls June to meet. She asks June, "Did you spread the word that we are dating because Chan-ki wouldn't tell anyone?" June gets angry and tells So-bin, "You are still taking Chan-ki's side and blaming me. And if someone spread this word, what's wrong with it? Anyway, it's a lie, because we are dating." And then June leaves. Meanwhile, June's seniors tell June to leave Soo-hyun's team and join theirs. June refuses, so the seniors make a revenge plan against June and Soo-hyun and steal Soo-hyun's diary. June calls So-bin and hears So-bin crying. June asks So-bin why she is crying, but So-bin hangs up. June searches for So-bin all over the campus, and when So-bin meets him, June is about to wipe her tears when So-bin says, "Don't touch me." June asks, "Did someone say something to you?" So-bin says, "I don't want to be friends with you anymore because since you came into my life has become more difficult." June is saddened by this and asks, "Do you really want that?" So-bin says, "From now on, we will live as strangers so that our lives are not troubled because of each other." June leaves without saying anything to So-bin and remembers his mom's words that he creates problems in the lives of the people around him. In the next scene, June is with his seniors. Then June finds Soo-hyun's diary in one of those friends' bags. June takes the diary out of the bag. Then Soo-hyun calls June and invites him to dinner. June quickly goes to Soo-hyun. Then Soo-hyun tells June to eat alone. Then June sees Soo-hyun being severely scolded by his boss. After dinner, Soo-hyun tells June, "You saw what difficulties I am in, so don't come to me anymore because when I see you, I feel how helpless I am and I can't afford those things. And I can't afford those things for my brother." June says, "Did you call me to get me out of your life?" Soo-hyun says, "We can never be friends." June says, "You've always said that." Then June leaves. At night, June looks at Soo-hyun's diary. The next day, June's friends ask him to rejoin the group, so June agrees. June motivates So-bin. So So-bin asks her professor why she was fired from the job. The professor says, "I didn't like you from the beginning, and that's why I didn't want to work with you." Hearing all this, So-bin feels relieved that she is not at fault for being fired. June's seniors create a scene at Soo-hyun's workplace, and June learns about it through a message. June goes to Soo-hyun's workplace and sees that Soo-hyun's boss has fired him. Soo-hyun even begs his boss for work, but his boss doesn't listen to him. June makes a video of this. Soo-hyun is sitting in a corner crying from the sorrow of losing his job. club. June silently starts to leave when Soo-hyun calls out to June from behind, apologizes to June, and says, "I intentionally called you to the restaurant that day because I felt pity for you and I thought I would be happy, but nothing happened." June doesn't say anything to Soo-hyun and leaves. June lies in his room and thinks, why do the people around me have problems with me? In the next scene at college, Mi-ju starts sketching Soo-hyun. Mi-ju liked Soo-hyun. Showing Mi-ju a picture of her friend So-bin, she says, "So, Bin and June are dating." Mi-ju is shocked to hear this and goes to the hostel room and tells Young. Then both start staring at So-bin and then tell So-bin, "Everyone in college is talking about you and June." So-bin is embarrassed and hides her face. At night, So-bin thinks about her and June's fight. "I said too much to June. I'll apologize to June in the morning." The next morning, So-bin meets June and gives him a flower. So-bin says, "Whatever the name of this flower means, I want to tell you that." Then, So-bin runs away. June excitedly Googles the name of the flower and finds out that it means love and forgiveness. June finds So-bin's proposal method very strange and thinks, who proposes like this? A while later, So-bin tells June, "You'll join our team. I'll wait for you." Then she leaves. June's seniors tease So-bin and say, "Give us June's study material." Hearing all this, So-bin starts crying. Then June arrives and saves So-bin from the seniors. June tells them, "I don't want to be in your team." Then June and So-bin go to Soo-hyun to work together on the project. Because June's video went viral, Soo-hyun gets his job back. In the next scene, June and So-bin decide to date each other. June takes So-bin to the place where So-bin faced many difficulties in her childhood. So-bin had fear in her heart, so June brings it out in front of So-bin to reduce that fear. Then So-bin feels relieved after getting rid of the fear in her mind. In the next scene, the seniors threaten So-bin and Soo-hyun, "If you don't take us in your team, we will go to the professor and lie that Soo-hyun intentionally removed us from the team." Soo-hyun, June, and So-bin are not afraid of them and go to the professor and present their project. The professor likes the project very much. After the presentation, the seniors falsely accuse Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun intentionally removed us from the team, and we also made this project. The professor knew that Soo-hyun is quite intelligent, so he doesn't believe the seniors. Soo-hyun, June, and So-bin come out of the class and are happy about their presentation. Soo-hyun tries to talk to June, but June tells Soo-hyun, "I don't have time to talk to you." Then Soo-hyun leaves. June is happy that he has made true friends. June and So-bin are celebrating. So-bin has drunk a lot, so she is not able to walk properly because of intoxication. June tells So-bin, "I'm going to kiss you." When June goes near So-bin, So-bin closes her eyes. June stops near So-bin, so So-bin opens her eyes and kisses June. After the kiss, June is shocked, but So-bin is embarrassed by her action and starts to go to the hostel alone. But she is not able to walk properly, so June lifts her onto his shoulders and takes her to the hostel. June tells So-bin, "You should go inside now." So-bin tells June, "Why do you keep distancing yourself from me?" June says, "It's better for you to go inside now." Then So-bin agrees and goes to her room. After So-bin has gone to her room safely, June calls Soo-hyun and says, "Call Young and ask if So-bin has reached her room, and if you do this, I'm ready to meet you." Soo-hyun, at June's behest, calls Young and asks about So-bin. Young goes to find So-bin outside the room, and So-bin is sleeping outside the room in an intoxicated state. On the other hand, June goes to meet Soo-hyun as promised. Then Soo-hyun shows his mobile and asks June, "Did you make this video?" June says, "Yes. Why? Is there any problem?" Soo-hyun thanks June for his help and also offers June dinner. But June refuses and says, "Your thank you is enough. At least you said something new. Because every time you say, 'Get out of my sight, don't interfere in my work.'" Soo-hyun smiles after hearing this. So June says, "You look different when you smile." Soo-hyun knew that June was also his friend. June is also happy that now I have found my true friends. The next morning, when So-bin wakes up, she feels embarrassed remembering what happened last night and doesn't know how she will face June. On the other hand, June keeps seeing So-bin everywhere. So-bin tells Mi-ju about last night, so Mi-ju says, "You should behave normally in front of your friend, as if nothing happened." So-bin meets Chan on her way to college, and both start laughing and joking. June sees them from a distance, feels jealous, and goes to So-bin angrily and says, "I need to talk to you alone." Then he takes So-bin to a corner. So-bin starts laughing strangely, showing that nothing happened last night. But So-bin is just about to confess her true feelings when June tells So-bin, "I like you very much." Hearing June's words, So-bin smiles and confesses her love. Hearing So-bin's love confession, June hugs her tightly. In the next scene, there is a college festival. The professor asks Soo-hyun to sing at the singing booth. Soo-hyun starts singing at the professor's request, but Soo-hyun's singing is off-key. So June comes on stage to help Soo-hyun and starts singing in his melodious voice while looking at So-bin. Soo-hyun sits next to Mi-ju to listen to June's singing, so Mi-ju tells Soo-hyun, "You sang well." Soo-hyun says, "If you liked my singing, you should definitely go to an ENT doctor." In the next scene, Soo-hyun and June go to So-bin Young and Mi-ju's room in the hostel because Young has arranged a birthday party for Soo-hyun. So Bin and Young give Soo-hyun a grand welcome. Soo-hyun was not very happy about his birthday, so he was refusing everything, but all the friends were forcing him to do everything. At the end of the party, everyone plays truth and dare. When it's Soo-hyun's turn, June asks Soo-hyun, "How many real friends do you have?" Soo-hyun says, "I have 2.5 friends." June asks, "Am I in the 0.5? Soo-hyun says, "You are not even 0.1 of my friend." Then it's June and So-bin's turn, so everyone asks them, "Are you both dating?" June and So-bin nod their heads. After the party, Young tells Soo-hyun, "When you date a girl, tell me first." Soo-hyun says, "That day will never come when I date a girl." On the other hand, So-bin tells June, "I'm going to work on research with Professor Yuan." Hearing his older brother's name, June stops So-bin from taking that job. So-bin asks June, "Why are you saying that?" June doesn't say anything. So-bin understands that June is hiding something and that there is some connection between Professor Yuan and June. So-bin starts to clarify, but June rudely refuses and leaves. June's seniors tell the customers at their stall at the festival, "Whoever drinks the most will get a chance to spend time with June." So many girls come there, but June leaves. Then So-bin is forcefully brought to the stall to introduce June's girlfriend to the customers. When So-bin comes to the stall, all the girls start questioning her. So-bin is humiliated by all the things. Then a friend calls June and tells him about So-bin. So June runs to So-bin and exposes the seniors for their disgusting actions. The seniors start beating June violently. June also fights back fiercely. One senior tells the other, "If our faces are shown in the video, we'll have to deal with the police." Scared by this, the seniors leave. June takes So-bin's hand and takes her away with him. June says to So-bin, "You wanted to know my story, right?" Then he says, "I've been beaten up by friends all my life. Would you want to be with a guy like that?" So-bin starts cleaning June's wound. Then June kisses So-bin. In the next scene, Young tells Soo-hyun about the fight between June and the seniors over the phone. Worried about June, Soo-hyun goes to college and meets the seniors. Soo-hyun is worried about his fight with June, so the senior starts misbehaving with Soo-hyun. In retaliation, Soo-hyun punches the senior hard and leaves. On the other hand, June asks So-bin to apply ointment to his face. So-bin initially acts coy, then agrees, and tells June, "Don't get into such fights again. Next time these seniors touch you, I'll pull out their hair." June gets angry and says, "Why would you touch his hair? You can only touch my hair." So-bin lovingly strokes June's hair, and when June falls asleep, So-bin leaves June's house. June wakes up hearing So-bin leaving and checks his mobile. There are 3 missed calls from Soo-hyun. June calls Soo-hyun, and Soo-hyun asks, "Are you alright?" June says, "Did you make 3 calls to ask about my well-being?" Soo-hyun tells June, "I'm glad to know you're alright," and hangs up. The next day, June tells So-bin, "I saved your name as my bin." Then he asks So-bin, "What name did you save my number as?" So-bin starts hiding her phone, so June takes her phone from So-bin and is surprised to see his name on So-bin's phone because So-bin has written his name as BA Major 2021 Yeo-jun. June is disappointed to see this. Then a call comes to So-bin's phone from an unknown number. That number is June's brother's. Seeing this, June's face falls. After So-bin's call ends, June tells So-bin, "Professor Yuan is my older brother and I hate him the most in the whole world, and that's why I didn't want you to work with Professor Yuan." So-bin asks June, "Why do you hate your older brother?" June says, "In childhood, my brother used to beat me until I fainted, and even today, remembering those things makes my soul tremble." Seeing this, So-bin consoles June. On the other hand, Mi-ju asks Soo-hyun for his number, but Soo-hyun refuses to give his number. Mi-ju leaves, and then Young comes and asks Soo-hyun, "Why didn't you give Mi-ju your number?" Soo-hyun says, "Because I don't have time for all these things." In the next scene, June Sr. tells June, "Can I stay at your house for a few days?" June refuses and tells him, "I already have a roommate." The senior asks June for his roommate's name, so June tells him Soo-hyun's name. In college, the senior who had raised his hand at June tells June, "The police will contact you soon." The senior says, "If I go to jail, I will also take Soo-hyun with me, because after the fight with you, Soo-hyun hit me." Hearing this, June tells the senior, "If you want to save yourself, keep your mouth shut." When June comes to class, the seniors falsely tell June that you lied about living with Soo-hyun. Hearing the seniors, Soo-hyun is surprised, but to support June, tells the seniors, I live with June. After class, June asks Soo-hyun, you stood up for me? You even beat them up? Soo-hyun asks June, why did you lie about the roommate? June says, if I say that, no one will dare to stay at my house because everyone is afraid of Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun receives a call from Gu-hyun, and Gu-hyun says mom needs surgery because of stomach pain. Soo-hyun is worried, but doesn't show his worry to Gu-hyun, and tells Gu-hyun, focus on your studies, I'll take care of the rest. In the next scene, Chan-ki confesses his love feelings to So-bin. So-bin tells Chan-ki, it's too late, I like someone else. Hearing this, Chan-ki apologizes to So-bin. Soo-hyun takes a dropout form and wants to leave his studies midway because he needed money for his mother's treatment and wasn't paying attention to his work because of his studies, so he was getting less money. Gu-hyun comes to college to meet Soo-hyun and takes June's help to find Soo-hyun. June takes Gu-hyun to the college cafeteria where Soo-hyun works. Coming to the cafeteria, Gu-hyun finds out that Soo-hyun is living in the cafeteria staff room to save rent. Seeing his brother's condition, Gu-hyun says, I want to leave my studies midway so that I can help my brother. Hearing this, Soo-hyun tells Gu-hyun, you shouldn't leave your studies midway. Mom and you are more important to me than my studies. After hearing this, Gu-hyun leaves without saying anything to Soo-hyun and tells June, who is standing outside, about all his problems. So June gives Gu-hyun money for mom's operation. Gu-hyun tells Soo-hyun over the phone, I borrowed money from my friend for mom's operation. So Soo-hyun understands that Gu-hyun borrowed from June. Seeing Soo-hyun's entire situation, the professor takes Soo-hyun to lunch and explains, it's not necessary that we should put the burden of worries on our shoulders. If someone wants to help us, we should share our burden with him. This makes our difficulty easier. Soo-hyun asks June to meet him on the phone. Soo-hyun thanks June for helping him, but also says, no need to help me next time. Soo-hyun says, the disadvantage of being poor is that you can't fulfill the desires and needs of the person you love. June tells Soo-hyun, even though I have all this, I have nothing. Soo-hyun says, I don't know when my troubles will end. June consoles Soo-hyun, saying, they have to end sometime. June tells Soo-hyun, my mom keeps abusing me. Soo-hyun tells June, we shouldn't take such people's words to heart because they themselves are broken from within. Before going home, Soo-hyun tells June, I never hated you. The next day, Mi-ju confesses her love to Soo-hyun, but Soo-hyun refuses. Soo-hyun quits his cafeteria job. June meets So-bin. So-bin asks about the diary in June's bag. June says it's Soo-hyun's diary. Hearing Soo-hyun's name, So-bin starts looking at the diary. June and So-bin see that today's date is on the diary, and it was written there, now everything is over. June thinks that Soo-hyun is going to commit suicide. Then June receives a message on his phone that Soo-hyun has transferred $1 million. June nervously calls Soo-hyun. Soo-hyun stands in front of June's house. Just then, June arrives and asks Soo-hyun, where were you? Seeing the bags in Soo-hyun's hand, he understands that Soo-hyun has left the cafeteria staff room. Then he says to Soo-hyun, why don't we make my lie true and become real roommates? Soo-hyun says sorry to June. I won't be able to refuse you now, because I have nowhere else to go. June tries his best to make Soo-hyun feel comfortable and takes care of Soo-hyun like a family member. Now Soo-hyun also starts feeling comfortable. In the next scene, So-bin sees Professor Yuan watching the video of June and the seniors fight on his mobile. Professor asks So-bin, do you know about this incident? So-bin says, in this incident, June was protecting me from those seniors. Professor asks So-bin, what do you think about June? So-bin tells the professor, I know that you and June are brothers. Hearing this, the professor is surprised and asks, So-bin, how do you know? So-bin says, June told me about you. So-bin is going to her class when a senior comes and apologizes to So-bin and says, other seniors also want to apologize. He takes So-bin to a cabin. So-bin doesn't feel good after going into the cabin because the other seniors weren't there. The senior gives So-bin something to drink and makes a prank video that goes live on a website. Coincidentally, June learns about the video, so he goes to the cabin where So-bin is. June calls So-bin, so the senior takes the phone from So-bin and grabs So-bin from behind. Then June comes there and punches the senior hard. June starts beating the senior, so the senior folds his hands and starts begging June for forgiveness. Seeing this, June remembers his childhood, so he leaves him and consoles So-bin. The senior attacks June from behind. June and the senior have a fierce fight. Then Young comes there and teaches the senior a lesson. Then the senior is handed over to the police. In the next scene, in the evening, June's older brother comes to meet him and asks, why didn't you fight back against the seniors? June tells his older brother, the beating from those seniors is nothing compared to the wounds you gave me. Remember you beat me so much that I fainted? You didn't show any sympathy then. Why are you showing it now? June's older brother tries to reason with him, but June doesn't listen and gets out of the car. Soo-hyun's favorite professor organizes a trip. All the friends go on the trip and play the put your finger down game there. While playing, Soo-hyun asks the professor, "Has there been any moment in your life that changed your life?" The professor says, "When I was in college, my girlfriend dumped me. I cursed my girlfriend day and night, but later I found out that my girlfriend left me because of her illness. This taught me a lesson that the truth can always ruin you." Jun remembers the incident from his childhood. Jun had asked his brother to get the trophy, but he couldn't even reach the trophy. So the brother tells Jun, "I'll talk to Dad in the morning." Then when Jun wakes up from sleep, there are many marks and wounds on his face, and he sees his older brother by his bedside. His older brother says, "From today onwards, you are an orphan. You have neither a mother nor a father." Jun starts crying loudly. Then after a while, Jun sees his brother crying, and Jun remembers that it was his father who beat him mercilessly in childhood. When Jun remembers all this, he goes to confirm it with his older brother and asks, "Why did you lie to me for so many years? You could have protected me by telling me the truth." Jun's older brother apologizes, saying, "This was the only way I had." Jun thanks his older brother. Then Jun's brother drops Jun home with a smile. When Jun comes home, Soo-hyun is also at home because after Jun left, everyone was worried about Jun, so everyone comes back from the trip. Soo-hyun asks Jun, "Did you talk to your older brother properly?" Jun tells Soo-hyun everything. So Soo-hyun says, "Everything will be all right between you and your brother soon." Jun smiles and says, "I wish that day comes soon." The next day, So-bin asks Jun, "Are you okay?" Jun answers yes. In class, Jun's seniors tease Jun to get their ATM machine back, but Jun doesn't fall for their tricks. So-bin comes and sits with Jun, so Jun holds So-bin's hand so that everyone knows they are in a relationship. After class, Mi-ju tells Soo-hyun, "I need to talk to you alone." Jun gestures to Soo-hyun, "You should listen to Mi-ju once." Soo-hyun goes to talk to Mi-ju, and Mi-ju tells him, "I know you like Young. I won't come between you two." Mi-ju asks Soo-hyun, "Don't you want to know why I like you?" Soo-hyun says, "I want to know, but I don't know if I even have the right to know." Mi-ju says, "When we first met, my cane fell from my hand, and you behaved as if nothing happened. Because of your behavior, I liked you, and thank you for coming into my life." Soo-hyun apologizes for not giving Mi-ju anything in return. On the other hand, Jun is going home with So-bin when he sees his mom at the door and is surprised and tells So-bin, "This is my mom." Jun takes his mom home. Jun asks his mom, "Why are you here? Are you here to scold me again or to make me realize that I don't have the right to live?" Hearing Jun's words, his mother gets angry and tells Jun, "Your older brother isn't picking up the phone." She shouts, "What did you say to your brother? He's not talking to me." Jun shouts at his mom, "Leave your elder son alone." Then Jun's mom starts trembling. Jun sees a wound on his mom's hand and says, "How can you live with an abusive husband for so many years?" Jun's mom tells Jun to be quiet and leaves. In the evening, Jun calls his older brother and asks, "Did you know about Dad's abusive behavior towards Mom?" Jun's brother says, "Yes, I told Mom to leave Dad long ago, but she didn't." In the next scene, Jun's dad tells his driver about the video of Jun's fight with his seniors. After hearing the video, Jun's dad gets angry and tells the driver, "Bring Jun to me." On the other hand, So-bin receives a call from her mother after many years, so she goes to meet her mother. So-bin was angry with her mother and asks her mother, "How did you remember me after so many years? What happened now?" So Bin's mother apologizes to her. So Bin tells her mother, "I should apologize to you. I valued you more than myself. Where were you when I cried every night remembering you?" So Bin leaves without listening to her mother's explanation. So Bin meets Jun, so Jun asks her, "How was your meeting with your mother?" So Bin tells Jun everything. Then Jun consoles So Bin and says, "Everything will be all right with time. You should just give it some time." So Bin feels some relief after Jun's reassurance. Just then, Jun's father's driver approaches Jun and says, "Your father has called you to meet him." Jun tells So-bin, "I'm going home for a while. My dad misses me." So Bin is working with Professor Yuan, so she tells the professor Jun has gone to meet his father today. As soon as the professor hears this, he leaves his office and calls his mother, asking, "Are you at home?" Mom answers no. Then Jun's brother leaves in a hurry for home. Then, in a flashback, Jun's older brother tells his father, "From today onwards, if you even touch Jun, I will kill you. You will take out your anger on me and will not even look at Jun." Now, in the present, Jun's father watches the video of his beating of Jun and tells Jun, "Your brother rejected Korea's top university just for you and joined your school to take care of you, and you embarrassed him even there." Jun says, "I don't even say hi to my brother at school." Jun's father says, "Leave your school and come back home," but Jun refuses. Jun's father doesn't like Jun's behavior and takes him to a room brutally and locks the door. Jun's father beats Jun with a trophy, the same trophy Jun's father used to beat him in his childhood. But just then, Jun's older brother arrives and says, "Jun, get out." So Jun goes out. Jun's older brother grabs his father's collar and says, "Were you beating Jun behind my back?" Jun's father tries to explain, but Jun's brother speaks to his father in his language. Jun's mother starts panicking outside the room. Thinking that Jun's father is beating his older son, she calls the police. "My son is in trouble." Then the police arrive and arrest Jun's father. In the next scene, So-bin calls Soo-hyun and asks, "Has June come home?" Soo-hyun refuses and says, "I'll call you when June comes home." June's older brother comes to drop June home. So June asks his brother, "What will happen to Dad now?" The older brother says, "Now Dad will have to stay behind bars. This will also affect your image. Be a little careful," and apologizes for not protecting June properly. June says, "Now you too live a normal life." Then June says goodbye to his brother and leaves. When June goes home, he starts crying because his whole world had turned upside down that day. Soo-hyun tries to console June. Because of what happened with June, June doesn't leave the house for many days. At college, So-bin tells Soo-hyun, "I'm glad you're staying with June. At least someone is with June." Then June comes there and hugs So-bin tightly. Soo-hyun smiles seeing both of them. So June tells Soo-hyun, "Don't you think you're spoiling our mood?" Soo-hyun says, "I wanted to give you notes." So Bin says, "I've also made notes for you." So Bin says, "You love the person whose notes you take the most." June doesn't take either of their notes, so both give the notes to June. In the next scene, Soo-hyun asks June, "Why were you crying after returning from your house?" June tells Soo-hyun, "Everything was fine at my house, but seeing you made me cry. So many problems had taken place in my life. When all those problems ended, a strange emptiness started to feel in life." Soo-hyun says, "Now you must be feeling better." June says, "Yes, but I've seen you cry too." Soo-hyun tells June, "I never cry. When did you see me cry?" June changes the subject. "I saw you crying inside." Soo-hyun agrees. On the other hand, a senior comes and apologizes to So-bin in front of the whole class. So Bin forgives him. In the next scene, the class teacher makes groups and asks everyone to play Secret Santa. The same groups were made this time too. After class, everyone goes for lunch and sees through chits who will be whose Secret Santa. From Soo-hyun's actions, it seems that Soo-hyun is June's Secret Santa. The next day, Soo-hyun does everything to make it easy for June to do his work. June knows that Soo-hyun is his Secret Santa, but pretends not to know. June's father drinks a lot and goes to June's house to vent his frustration. June is scared to see his father, and his father forcefully enters his house and asks June about his mother. June tells his father, "You still have time. You should apologize to everyone." June's father tries to hit him, so June grabs his father's hand and says, "I'm not the one you used to hit." Then June's father leaves his house angrily. June's older brother receives a call from his father, and his father calls him to meet. At home, the father tells his older son, "Whatever I have earned it through my hard work. I've done a lot to reach this point. I've done all this for my family, so that I can give you all happiness. I want your mother to come back home because I love her." June's older brother doesn't listen to his father and says, "You don't deserve this family. Now you will have to bear the punishment alone. I should have told you years ago that you have no family." In return, I told June and gave him lifelong sorrow. Hearing this, the father tells his older son, "If the whole truth comes out, your reputation in the university will be ruined." June's older brother says, "I don't care about that." In the next scene, in the hostel, So-bin and Young miss Mi-ju a lot, because Mi-ju had left both the hostel and college. So-bin and Young drink, remembering Mi-ju. So-bin, seeing Young upset, asks about it. Young tells So-bin, "Is it possible that the person I like also likes me?" So-bin explains to Young, "You just have to wait for the right time. At the right time, he will come to you himself." The next day, while discussing the group presentation, June and Soo-hyun have an argument in front of all the group members. June wants to make the presentation on the topic of youth, and Soo-hyun wants it on a more realistic topic. So Soo-hyun angrily leaves the meeting. After the meeting, So-bin tells June, "You should think about Soo-hyun's point, because when we look back in life, we should also remember the struggles of our life, because I also find Anushka's success a bit bland." June smiles at So-bin's words. So-bin asks, "How is the fight between you and Soo-hyun? Won't things be uncomfortable at home?" June says, Soo-hyun gets angry very quickly, but the anger doesn't last long. In the next scene, both June and Soo-hyun want to talk, but both their egos come in the way. June cooks something to eat at night, and the aroma wakes Soo-hyun up from sleep, and both have dinner together. But when it comes to the assignment, they fight again. The next day, So-bin learns about the fight between June and Soo-hyun. So So-bin says, "You two fight like a married couple." June doesn't like So-bin's words at all. On the other hand, Gu-hyun gives Soo-hyun his father's general from his mother and says, "Now you don't need to take care of my and mom's expenses. You should focus on your life and do what your heart wants." In the group meeting, June says, "We should mix both concepts, which should show the dark and bright sides of youth." Everyone agrees with June, and everyone shares their dark sides. But when it's June's turn, June says, "From childhood to now, I was a victim of my father's physical abuse." After the meeting, Soo-hyun asks June, "Are you okay after telling about yourself?" June says, "I don't care about these things anymore." Soo-hyun explains to June, "No matter how deep the wound is, it takes time to heal, and your wound is very precious." The next day, June highly praises his written script in front of everyone. Then Soo-hyun asks everyone, How will we show darkness in front of the camera? Everyone looks at Soo-hyun and says, you just have to stand in front of the camera. Darkness will appear automatically. Soo-hyun gets frustrated by this. While making the project, everyone finishes the work amicably, ending their differences. At night, Jun intentionally reads his lines loudly, disturbing Soo-hyun's sleep. Soo-hyun scolds Jun, but Jun is not ready to listen. On the day of the presentation, Jun represents his team well, and the professor likes Jun's team's project the most. Happy with the success of the presentation, everyone celebrates. Soo-hyun tells everyone, now everyone should reveal their secret Santa. To tease Soo-hyun, Jun says, my Santa was so unsuccessful that he didn't do anything. Soo-hyun says to Jun, I did so much for you and still you are saying this? Jun is happy to hear Soo-hyun's words and says, I was joking. And then everyone enjoys the party. In the next scene, after the party, So-bin goes to meet Chan-ki, and Chan-ki tells So-bin, I'm going for military service very soon. So-bin gives Chan-ki a good luck hug, and tears well up in Chan-ki's eyes. So that So-bin doesn't see the tears, Chan-ki tells So-bin, you won't open your eyes until I count to 3. Chan-ki hides his tears and runs away. On the other hand, Young confesses her love feelings to Soo-hyun, but Soo-hyun doesn't respond. Young tells Soo-hyun, if you like any girl in the future, confess to her immediately because what is lost often doesn't come back. Soo-hyun says, are you going away? Young says, not from this place, but I'm going a little away from you. Chan-ki and Young lighten their hearts by sharing their broken hearts with each other. Soo-hyun tells Jun, my mom sent me my father's general. I read it completely. Jun says, you read all your father's secrets. Soo-hyun says, reading this, I came to know how much my father struggled in life. Soo-hyun tells Jun, my dream was to become a police officer like my father. Jun says, you can still fulfill your dream. And even if you can't fulfill your dream, you can write the ending of your story yourself. After hearing Jun's advice, Soo-hyun says, you have become quite mature. Jun asks Soo-hyun, can we go for a trip during the summer vacation? Soo-hyun says, I want to spend the summer vacation with my mom, and then I will bring them to this city too. Jun feels very bad and sad to hear this. Soo-hyun says, our friendship will remain the same. Even after 2 months, their friendship remained the same. So Bin didn't have anything good to add to her resume. If there was anything good, it was the sweet memories. Young was studying to become a teacher at a university. Soo-hyun would sometimes secretly bring energy drinks. Soo-hyun still didn't have time for a relationship, but he started giving importance to his close friends. So Bin, Soo-hyun, and Jun meet each other with big smiles, and now their real spring begins. And with this, the drama ends on a happy note.